once again, players of good video games. My name is Nick Pell, and this is my review of Injustice 2. Now, one of my favorite aspects of the first Injustice game, Gods Among Us, was the story, because it took Superman and made him into a villain, a tyrant, and you had to go and help Batman take down Superman's regime. It was a very interesting, unique story, and something which I really enjoyed, especially the story-wise. And I never did much past that. If you've watched a lot of my game reviews, which include multiplayer aspects, you know that I'm not a huge fan of the multiplayer capabilities, so I didn't really dive into that much of it in Injustice 1. But now we have the sequel to that first installment, and so let's see if this game is getting its justice due. Main part of Injustice 2, which I really enjoyed, was the story. I marathoned through this thing, spent 3 to 4 hours just going through it. You can check out my full run on this channel. But I really enjoyed the story because it takes place a couple of years, like 5 years or so after the events of Injustice, maybe less than that. And we see the fallout of that game. And I like that it doesn't have that interdimensional travel aspects anymore either. That was, I think, it worked for what the game needed to be in Injustice 1, but I like that it focused just strictly on this universe, on this world, and kept all the characters the same. The main plot of this game is that we start with a flashback to Krypton. We get to see Supergirl, Kara Zor-El. She has to escape Krypton alongside her cousin, Kal, and we see eventually what happens. Her ship gets knocked off course, and his goes straight to Earth. He grows up, she shows up much later, and we have our game more or less. And this time the main villain of the game is Brainiac. He has come to Earth, he destroyed Krypton, he has now come to Earth, he's trying to hunt down the last 2 Kryptonians, and we have to find out how to fight him and take him down. And one thing which I really appreciate is that the consequences of Injustice 1's story remain the same, because we still have divided factions. We have Wonder Woman and Black Adam trying to recruit Supergirl to help them rescue Superman, who is still held in captivity. We have Batman trying to reorganize the world, restabilize the world, and he's building his own team from misfits and other heroes from the past. I really enjoyed Supergirl in this story as well, because she had a bigger role than I was really expecting her to. And having not really watched a lot of the extra footage or the story trailers or anything, I didn't really know what to fully expect with this game. I knew that Brainiac was somehow involved, I knew that she was going to be a character. I didn't really expect her to be the voice of reason and someone who I genuinely found a lot of interest in throughout the course of the story. Because she comes from these huge ideals, because she just recently landed on Earth in this universe, and so she has the ideals of Krypton, of the House of El, and seeing her have those ideals kind of shattered in front of her when she realizes that her cousin, who is also from that same house, has basically defiled those ideals, has become a tyrant, and destroyed everything that she stood for. Just seeing that happen and seeing the results of that with her story just made for a very interesting way to tell it. I also felt like the story was a very good length. I felt like basically this could be a movie in and of itself. If the DC universe gets its shit together and knows what's going to be doing in the next 10-15 years, if it builds and includes all these characters, has a really good sustained universe, I would love to see the story play out on the big screen. That movie, aside from the story, the graphics are really good as well. They're very much updated from the first one, and they look very good. The fighting animations look really good. All the fighting is very fluid, very nice and fast and quick, and it's really a big improvement on the first one. Even for some of the heavier characters, they're still moving pretty quick compared to their old selves. The cutscenes for the story animations and for introductions and for the super moves, that all looks really good as well as the super moves in particular. particular, they all look very unique and they'll have their own kind of style to them, which I really appreciated. In regards to gameplay, it's very, very good, very, very fun, honestly. I do not play a lot of fighting games in my entirety. I rarely play anything. Injustice 1 was the last one I actually played. And I actually found myself having a really fun time with this game in regards to all the extra stuff that you can do, because this does have an RPG element to it. You can level up the different characters up to level 20, and that increases their health, their strength, their defense. All these things which you would expect from a regular RPG, but in a fighting game, and that affects how they play in the single player fights that go on. So like I said, you can level them up through a variety of different aspects throughout the course of the game. It gives you a lot of different options to do so. You can also earn gear, which will help to increase those stats as well, and that's a really fun thing to do, and something which I could see myself getting hooked into doing. In regards to the cons, I'm just going to say I had a very tough time trying to find anything for the cons. I really found myself enjoying this title for the most part. Multiplayer, again, isn't for me for the most part. I went 5 matches, lost all 5 matches, so yeah, my skills are more single player based. So the game is not going to be for everyone. If you're not a huge fan of fighters whatsoever, maybe don't play this, I guess. The only reason that I think I found so much enjoyment in it is because how much I loved the DC universe, how many connections there are with the movies and the shows, and how many Easter eggs there are within this game for that. And so if you are not a big comic DC fan, you probably won't get as much enjoyment out of this as I personally did. And so if you're not a huge fan of fighters, not a huge fan of DC, probably don't check this out if you're not really that interested. But for me personally, I had a really fun time playing Injustice 2. It's definitely one of my highlights of the year so far, and I'd say definitely check this thing out if you have the opportunity. It's well worth your time. And with the mass plethora of things to do throughout this game in order to increase your fighters' statistics, you're going to have to be able to spend hours in this thing. But guys, those are my thoughts on Injustice 2. I definitely had a blast with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. Also, make sure to check out my full run of the Injustice 2 story if you are interested in that, so you can kind of check out what you're in for and see how I did fighting-wise. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on gaming.
Professor, that's crazy. Maybe we can control it, but you're right. No other option. Get out of here, Jaime. Jesucristo, Jason! You're gonna nuke us? It's the only way. Now go! Leave, all of you, or you'll get a hell of a lot worse than a sunburn.
You'd blow up Metropolis rather than let Superman go?
I'd save the Earth.
Firestorm, stand down! Who are you?
Superman's overprotective cousin.
You keep so many secrets, but you can't stand it when one's kept from you, can you?
You can't beat Brainiac, Bruce.
You're right, Diana. I can't.
What the?
You're ready to stop Brainiac by any means necessary.
By the means at hand.
What's your game? You're always 3 moves ahead.
Saving the world is enough for now.
I'm never going back in that cell.
We'll cross that bridge later. Right now, the world needs us.